Boys and girls, welcome to Loot for Beginners. This video was inspired by Al Bundy in the comment section of my last Loot Crate video, where he mentioned that it would be a nice idea for me to make sort of a beginner's guide to loot, as with the Loot Crates theme. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give sort of a crash course on, different companies that make, masterpiece style, or I'll probably touch on legends too, just because I do like collecting the legends scale. My collection is mostly going to be masterpiece size and legend size, mainly seasons 1 and 2, Transformers the movie, and maybe some of season 3, season 4. Haven't really got that far yet, but for right now, biggest things that need to be talked about is the companies that make Transformers, third-party Transformers. Masterpiece, which is the original line. Then we've got availability and, stores you can purchase them from. Availability is the biggest trick, because, when they make knockoffs of the official, you can find them all over eBay. They're not hard to find. The availability problem is with the third-party companies, and being that Takara and Tomy and Hasbro have not gotten off their butts and made the damn, made more bots. I mean, they're too busy with repaints and making their third Optimus Prime and their second Bumblebee, and Hound is kind of an afterthought. So we'll talk about companies that have multiple versions, different companies that have their own version of the same bot. Then we'll go with, companies that only one or two companies have made, one certain bot. Like two perfect examples. X-Trans bots made Ollie and Boost, Wheelie and Wind Charger. Now that I'm aware of, the only company that's made either one of those is X-Trans bots. And, well, no, another company made their version of Wheelie, but they're one of those companies that kind of disappeared into the ether. So iGear is no longer a thing. X-Trans bots is really your only game in town to get Wheelie. So you're stuck with that. And then, of course, Wind Charger. That X-Trans bots is the only company that's made a Wind Charger so far. Now, that's another thing you got to watch out for, is you got to kind of be patient in some aspects, because like you may see, oh well, like Bad Cube's War Dog. That's the only version of Warpath that's out there, at least a season 1 Warpath. But then I find out that Fans Toys is coming out with a version. So we'll talk about the companies. We'll talk about pricing, places to find them, and availability. So with all that in mind, let's get started. Okay, so these are the companies that make the masterpiece type of Transformers. First of all, you got the OGs. You got Takara, Tomy, and Hasbro. Now, they were the ones that came up with sort of the original Transformers and their designs. Takara through the Diaclone toy line and all that. But then then Hasbro came in and, got the rights to the toys, created the cartoon, and the rest is history. Now, here's where it gets a little complicated. You got Bad Cube is a company that makes third-party Transformers. Then you got DX9, Fans Toys, Gigapower, KFC, Make Toys, or Make Toys as we English speakers like to call it, Mastermind Creations, X Transbots, and Zeta. Those are the main companies that I've dealt with. Now, there are other companies out there who've made, masterpiece size toys. I don't know specifically if they're still making them, so this is the set you're going to pretty much probably be sticking with, at least I have. Now, each one of these companies has made some of, the masterpiece size and masterpiece style toys that I've bought. I only have 1 gigapower to be totally honest, and really one masterpiece size from DX9, but they have made more than that. It's like 4 or 5 of these companies may have made like the same one, just their own interpretation. And really with that, it's just a matter of, okay, do I like Bad Cube's version better, or do I like Fans Toys version better? Do I like this one, that one? In that case, it's just sort of like your own personal playground. Now, one of the ones that has been made multiples of is Springer. And as you can see here, we have several different Springers to choose from. You've got, Open Play's Big Spring is the one that I have. It's the cheapest of the bunch, and to me it looks good enough. Now, the one beside of it, Fans Toys version, which is Apache, he's kind of hard to find, and I promise you, if you get him off the secondary market, you're going to pay way more than you would have if you would have bought him when he was available. Then beside him, you've got Toy World Spanner, which he's sort of, that I know of, more of an Ocular Max design, or an Studio Ox design, Ocular Max derp. Then you have Unique Toys Allen, and then you have Mastermind Creations Saltus, they're Ocular Max's Saltus, and then X Transbots Virtus. Now these are all different ones that you could get to be your Springer for your collection. This is an example of having just a whole row to choose from. Now, Open and Play's version was the easiest one for me to get, because honestly, Saltus and Virtus were recently put up for pre-order. But then, of course, they were a lot more expensive, and it's like they all three kind of look similar enough to me that I just get the cheapest one. So I went with Open Play's Big Spring. Now, I've heard people put him down just because he's more toy-ish. You could take him out of his bag, box, whatever, hand him to a kid, and they could play with him all day long. He's not going to break. He's made out of lighter materials, but I don't want to say lighter, but there's not really a whole lot of die cast in him. But he's as posable as a masterpiece. He's masterpiece size, and he works for me. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, you have iGear's Busta and X Transbots Ollie. These are the only 2 versions of Wheelie that I'm aware of, masterpiece scale, that were ever made. And you can tell from the picture of Busta that Busta his butt out of here. He sucks, because he doesn't have the look of Wheelie. Everybody's seen Wheelie in the movie. He was a fairly slim little dude, which, as you can tell from the picture, from the X Transbots version, he looks perfectly like Wheelie. He's just feels like he's cheaply made, and his joints suck. Just, there's no other way around it. So really, it's sort of a buyer's market, with some, and just take what you can get with others. Now, that doesn't mean that like Fans Toys won't come out with a version of wheelie sometime in the future, but who knows when that'll be. That's the whole problem with this whole set, is just how long is it going to be before they become a thing? And that's really the trick to it in a lot of cases. Like specifically with, you know, stuff like Fans Toys, which we'll go into some of their bots here. Let's roll over. Now, let's talk availability. This is the hardest part of collecting these things, just mainly because you're gonna see a lot of this, starting with ShowZ. There's an awful lot of sold out of stock, this, that, and the third. You'll get a lot of pre-orders too. That's for new stuff coming in. Once in a while you'll get reissues, but as you can see, I just picked 3 different companies just to check the availability. On ShowZ, it's Fans Toys. As you can see with TF Source, I went with X-Trans bots just to see how many of what they had, and this is the result. There's an awful lot of out of stock. Then I moseyed on over to the Chosen Prime, and oh look, out of stock, join waiting list, blah blah, out of stock, la la la. Yeah, prepare your heart for a lot of disappointment, because you'll see a figure that really strikes your fancy. You'll be like, oh, let me look this up, and you'll look it up and you'll see those dreaded words, out of stock, or sold out, or in the case of Chosen Prime, join waiting list. That is just the nature of the beast. Now, you can probably find them on like eBay, but the secondary market is infamous for prepare your wallet and your anus, because it's gonna hurt, especially if you really, really want that one figure. Oh my god. Like ShowZ's showing the, you know, Skyfire, Fans Toys Phoenix is out of stock, and oh my god, he's $199 normally. If you scroll back, you'll see it. He's down in the bottom corner. But then you go to the secondary market, he's like marked up to $400, $500, $600. Oh my god, who set the price on this damn thing? That's the worst part, is the availability. Now, in the case, there are, like, for KOs of, you know, Takara Tomy Masterpiece, those are usually fairly steadily available, and you can find those easy enough on eBay. There's sellers selling those all the time. But with companies like Fans Toys, X-Transbot, Bad Cube, you just strike while the iron is hot. If you missed it, just hope you find somebody selling it for a reasonable price, or wait for a reissue, or if you have to, wait for the next company to come out with that specific bot, because you're going to be stuck waiting either way. So that is the downside of all this, is the availability. So that's like I said, that is just the nature of the beast. It sucks, but that's the way it is. So you're going to see that a lot, so be prepared. Now, last but certainly not least are the stores you can purchase third-party Transformers and other such from. Now, this is a list of some of the stores that I'm aware of, that I've shopped at, etc., etc. Now, we've got like a sort of a full roster. You got the Chosen Prime, TF Source, ShowZ Store, TFDirect.com, eBay, yes, eBay, Big Bad Toy Store, ages 3 and up, Toy Dojo, Robot Kingdom. Now, that I'm aware of, most of these are US-based stores, except maybe, well, ShowZ, TF Direct, and I think Robot Kingdom are out of China or Hong Kong area. So those are Asian stores, but those are the most likely you'd be shopping from in the US. Now, in the UK, I believe there's Kapow Toys, and I can't think of the other one that I've heard of right off the top of my head, but the whole trick to this is to find the stores that sell in your country, sort of. If you're in the US, of course, ShowZ Prime, TF Source, ShowZ, and all that. eBay is really good, just kind of for the international market scene, as it were, because most of the third-party manufacturers are in China anyway, which is part of why I said I wasn't happy with the whole Donald Trump jacking up tariffs on China. Not happy with the fact that that's going to cost me more money. I mean, these things are expensive enough as it is. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Now, I've actually physically been to the ShowZ Prime, their store. So, anybody that lives in the Phoenix, Arizona area, you're in luck. You could actually just drive the hell over there and pick up your goodies, because it's right there in Mesa, Arizona. I'd call them first and warn them that you're coming over to pick up, because that'll save you the wait on shipping, and it'll save you, it'd save time. All you got to do is just go online, click, bye, stick your stuff in your roller stash, which, yes, that's the thing. They'll let you build up a stash and then ship it all at once. Or you can just throw it in your stash and then just drive your happy butt over there and pick it up. Like I say, just call them first. Their phone number's right there on the website in the Contact Us section, so it's easy enough. Big Bad Toy Store, I'm not exactly sure where that's out of, or if they actually have a physical location. TF Source does just strictly mail order, just depending on, where you're out of. If you're lucky enough to live around Phoenix, Arizona, Mazel Tov, go over there and pick your stuff up and order from them often. Now, there is also that some stores have started charging your local sales tax, which sucks because it's bad enough having to spend $180 without the extra $10-20 for tax, which is pointless anyway, but that's neither here nor there. But that is kind of the, that's the listing of stores. Now, I can throw the links in the description if you want, but those are the names to look for. All you got to do, I'm pretty sure everybody knows how to get to eBay, but if you just Google, the different store names, you pop them right up. But I will I'll throw links in the description just to be sure. But that's pretty much it as far as stores go. I mean, it's not really a very long thing to have to talk about. Is, hey, here's the names of all the stores you've got to choose from. But it is handy information to have. So those are the places to visit. Tell them Magnus, tell them Magnus's Loot Crate sent you, and they'll say who. Well, maybe not the ShowZ Prime and TF Source. They do know that, because I've talked to them quite a bit. But that's pretty much it as far as the stores go. That's all the information you really need. I mean, unless you live in a country other than the U.S., then you might need different names, like swap out the ShowZ Prime and TF Source for whatever's in your country. And there you go. But those are some of the stores to choose from. And I think that's pretty much it for that part. Now, a couple of important parting shots before I end this video. One thing you need to do is, when you get a chance to, go to any of those websites and just float through all the different brands and companies and check them out. Find out the names of the figures that you like. Because, like I said, they're third-party companies. They're not going to be Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and all that. They're going to be Supreme Leader, or Light of Freedom, Light of Justice, transform elements OP leader, and stuff like that. So go in those sites and learn their names. Another thing, just as a quick aside, go to Walmart and get you one of these. This is a 17-piece smartphone repair kit. It is very handy because it has spudgers, and it comes with a nifty little set of screwdrivers. But the main thing is the spudgers. They'll help you transform your bots. And as a final parting shot, so to speak, I want to throw a challenge out there. Anybody who collects Transformers like I do, who might catch anything that I might have missed, important information that beginners might want to have, make your own video, send it to me. I'll make sure to link it in the description of this one as sort of a loot for beginners part 2. Or I'll call it that. I'll say a loop for beginners part 2, and then link your video. So just send that to me and let me know. And for those of you who are beginners, I hope this was helpful in some capacity. If there's other questions, if you have an off the wall question, leave that in the comments and let me know. And well, that's pretty much it. So see you next time.